Hey, yo, what's good? What's going on, everyone, everywhere? Welcome back to another video, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video out, and all the good stuff you do for everyone else. Do it for your boy as well. Now, listen, man. Look, Ascension did just get buffed, and it got buffed in the best way possible for Ascension to even work. Okay? I wasn't the biggest fan of Ascension. I like that you can make people amplified and kind of jolt, but other than that, it wasn't the best, and it kind of felt odd to use, especially since it didn't work with your dodge stuff. Now that it does, we can finally make the build. Now, the build I'm referring to is this Arc Hunter build with the Gifted Conviction chest piece here. Now, we can actually use this Gifted Conviction for both stances of it, honestly. Both Ascension and Tempest Strike. Tempest Strike, I just want to say, Bungie, you should have put Tempest Strike on Prismatic as well. It's kind of unfair that the Warlocks get Lightning Surge, the Titans get Consecration, and they can both use both of them things with 3 charges. But us, as a hunter, we can't even get Tempest Strike to go on Prismatic to then pair up with the Withering Blades here and Syntheseps to at least make ours hit hard too. I'm just saying, that's kind of messed up. My little rant aside, with the Gifted Conviction, I like to go ahead and get Gathering Storm here. You could go ahead and get Arcstaff as well, especially if you're doing a lot of more Nightfall stuff. But just all around purpose, Gathering Storm's good as well. Gambler's Dodge, of course, get our melee back course. Triple Jump, I mean, you could use one of the other ones, that's fine. Don't use Blink in PvE, because that, unless you're just a madman, some Leroy Jenkins type thing. Combination Blow, just because of a shorter cooldown. You could do Disorienting Blow if you are actually looking for the utility of it, since it could stun champions like Unstoppables, make you amplified, give you some bolt charge and all that. But yeah, Combination Blow just for a short cooldown. Flashbang Grenade, once again, blind champions, Unstoppable in particular. If you're just looking for something more all around, definitely just go Pulse. It's gonna be your better bet, especially being on Hunter and not having any other, exotic to buff anything else up. So Flashbang or Pulse Grenade. Now, third of our aspects, I think it's self-explanatory. Ascension, Tempest Strike kind of go hand in hand there. Now, Tempest Strike does give you more bolt charge. They get changed a little bit that way. It does jolt enemies, so that's good as well. Ascension, same old Ascension, just works for everything now. And has a third fragment slot, which is very, very useful and good. So while we're airborne, do our air dive, so to speak, or our air ability, and make everyone amplify that's under us and jolt every target around us. In terms of fragments, Spark of Ion, so they jolt targets once we defeat them, or even, bolt charge them. We get an Ionic Trace. Our grenades jolt, i.e. Flashbang or Pulse. Spark Amplitude, so we create more power, just so we're feeding our loop in, because as you see, we're not using Flow State nor Lethal Current, which, as you see, these kind of go hand in hand in getting our stuff back. Now, if we do end up getting a actual kill with not Tempest Strike, but just Combination Blow as is, it does refund our class energy, so we can kind of continue the cycle anyways. So nonetheless, that's also why you kind of want to use Combination Blow. Spark Resistance, we're getting, more resistant, plus we're going to be amplified all the time anyway, so hey, more damage resistant the better. Especially in new activity, a lot of damage resistance is very much needed. Spark of Focus is going to be the main one outside of it. If, let's say, if you had to take away any other fragment, I would take a Spark of Amplitude, but Spark of Focus is going to be so critical. Now, sprinting gives your dodge back. Just you moving around a little bit, you'll be having your dodge back regardless, man. You don't understand. You see, I ain't really got nothing there, right? Then look at that. Look at that recharge. Look at that recharge. Especially when it's going to be amplified or we have speed boost. It's going to be nice. It's going to be good. It's literally like you got the Frosties on at all times, and we got the thing back again. So it's just good. That fragment is going to be mandatory, especially with all the ionic traces we're getting, all the stuff that we're going to be doing. It's going to be good left, right, and center. Now, what's going to pair beautifully with this? Delicate Tomb. Delicate Tomb did get a rework. It's going to hit pretty much twice as hard. You get 100% damage increase once we collect an ionic trace. Now, why? Because collecting ionic trace overcharges weapon. Next shot, it jolts targets and does more damage. As you see, widespread from the hip. If you focus down, it does more. It's horizontal from the hip, vertical from ADS. Okay, so it's pretty good. And it pretty much got a buff too, so it's going to create more ionic traces. Not only powerful foes, but just regular foes as well. And we got the catalyst, so we don't really have to reload this bad boy as we're collecting all these ionic traces. So it's going to be very, very good left, right, and center. Now you could go ahead and really play into the exotic more by taking off Spark of Amplitude and putting on, where's it at? Arc Weapon Final Blows. Have a chance to create ionic traces. This is also going to be very, very good to add into the mix. So really have more synergy with the Delicate Tomb. Now you could also, if you're in a little bit higher level content, just because of Delicate Tomb is a special weapon and its arc, we'll be able to have blinded explosions, allowing us to kind of be more free. Enemies are blinded, they'll be, you know, having that looking down with their arms up, and like, I can't see. They'll be kind of halted from doing anything. It disorientates them. They can't fire the weapon. They can't be throwing all them grenades like they'd be normally doing. And it just allows us to be more free and hurrying up and getting off our Tempest Strike or Ascension. Okay, so that's definitely another one to consider. But I would not take Spark Focus off. I would not take Spark of Resistance off. And of course, Spark of Alliance is going to be needed as well. Spark of Shock is definitely something that I would, just because it plays into the whole jolt thing. But nonetheless, Spark of Discharge can be swapped out, you know, with some of the other ones as well, like Spark of Amplitude and or Spark of Beacons. Okay. Now, the reason why I got like multi-mod, because it has the orb allows us to get more abilities back, thus, you know, kind of synergizes with everything again. Anything else really doesn't matter. You can run anything in this top one. Just the multi-mod kinetic trim attrition orbs is just really, really good. Heavy honestly doesn't matter as well by all this stuff that you're doing, even to chunkier targets, which is more why I have the rocket for more chunkier targets or bosses. You're going to be shooting Delicate Tomb, trying to get your abilities off and just kind of going with your natural game loop anyways. So if something's not dead by using multiple dodges, multiple Tempest Strikes, and multiple Delicate Tomb shots, then just throw a rocket on them. It has reconstruction, so it'll always be loaded, and bipod, so it has plenty of rockets. You shouldn't have to be too frugal with this right here. Now, in terms of our actual, you know, setup and what are our mods looking like, Harmonic Siphon, because come on, Delicate Tomb plus the rocket, Harmonic Siphon, no brainer. Dynamo, because it should now work with Ascension, so very, very good. Hands on, of course, because we're going to be using Tempest Strike as well, so very, very good. Fastball, Focusing Strike, so we get, as we're hitting stuff with our Tempest Strike, we get more Ascension energy back. And then Heavy Handed, because our melee should be getting us a good amount of kills by the jolt, by the little balls that come off Gifted Convention, as well as the melee itself. Everything should be kind of going hand in hand with each other. Now, I like to go ahead and get melee damage resistance. You could go ahead and opt in for the concussive one as well, the area effect one. Is this one here, concussive dampener. That paired with the melee damage should take care of a lot of stuff, but depending on what activity you run, I always recommend that you plug in something here. Okay, get some of the actual elements as well. And then for your feet, your legs, we're not really focused on the weapon damage per se. I mean, Delicate Tomb, you could kind of change it a little bit to play into it and take out Absolution, put on like an Arc Surge mod or Arc Scavenger mod. But really, you want recuperation to get a little more health back from all the orbs we're generating from everything. And then over yeah, over restoration. Okay, I thought this was the healing one for a second. No, this one just your least ability energy one. Generally speaking, hopefully if you're doing it right, it should be giving it to your class ability, because the amount of times you're dodging, you should have your melee and grenade pretty frequently up. But for whatever reason, if you don't have like your grenade up and your class ability energy, kind of like fighting for who has the least amount, either way, your grenade and class ability is where you want stuff to reside anyways. Which leads us into our cloak. Reaper, obviously delicate tomb, creating more orbs. Powerful attractions, so we can collect all these orbs and ionic traces and all this other stuff. Kind of, see where the stuff is coming from, the more move towards it, so it hurries them and collects so we can keep going. Then bomber, because we're going to be doing so many ascensions and all that, we're going to get our grenade back pretty quickly. Now in terms of gameplay loop, I pretty much just keep delicate tomb out until I'm out of ammo, and then just slide this. You could actually slide like to go in reverse as well. Let's actually go. Let's go over here to this landing zone, and then I can kind of dodge near enemies, and you can kind of see how this build fully plays out. Now, you will get a lot of damage reduction, damage resistance, whatever you want to call it, from the chest piece, of course, but also sorry, I'm trying to low-key kind of focus. See, we got Tempest Cascade. Bam. Buddy gone. I don't like how you gotta shoot those. It's kind of annoying. But in terms of actual like gameplay loop, let's go over here. So we're gonna go melee. Get as close as we can. Bam. Tempest Strike. Ascension to another Tempest Strike melee. Hit them. Click the ionic trace, and you see how we have our dodge back already. Plus we have the Tempest Strike. Then we're gonna hit them up. Hit them. And you see it just feeding into itself. Our dodge, even though we don't have that much, we're literally just running to the next set of enemies, and we already have it again. So our dodge pretty much always going to be there. Our melee is going to be always there. Meaning that when we collect that orb, oh look, it's going to go towards our grenade if we have used our grenade already. That was kind of odd and trippy. And we're going to be jolting everything so much, it's just going to be real nice. Now granted, do keep in mind the Tempest Strike, even though it is a ground ability, it does actually work with enemies in the air as long as you're kind of semi near the ground, if you will. And you can always use Ascension to get enemies in the air as well, like those heartbeats there. Now, you kind of seen the gameplay loop. Of course, you're gonna be throwing your grenade out and whatnot. Bam, blinded. He's not really been doing much. Throw him a super. Okay, call it a day. And the ionic traces paired with pretty much everything else, it's just gonna be a nice thing. We're gonna have damage resistance ×2, ×3. Anything that jolts an enemy gonna give us more damage resistance and keep that kind of buff up as much as possible. So our delicate tomb is gonna keep it up. Us getting a kill with our grenade launcher keeps it up. our rocket launcher keeps it up. Us using our ability keeps it up. It's just, we're always going to be having damage reduction, always going to have jolt flying everywhere, always going to be spamming out abilities, always going to be doing everything at all times. It's very active play style of a build, and it's similar to the whole dodge melee build that we have with like Prismatic or old Arc Hunter, but this one is kind of like a new twist on it all that is a lot more fun, if you will. And you can always slide, you can always slide the other way If you get too close to your own grenade, it does blind you. You can always slide the other way and kind of do a reverse Tempest Strike. So let's say I'm aiming for those two there. I can, and bam, you see, I can slide some other direction and then quickly turn to the direction I want Tempest Strike to go towards after the fact. And you see those little balls, they do go on a 360 AoE effect around you. So hey, they're going to be hitting stuff and jolting stuff as well. And this build is just going to be fun all around. So without further ado, make sure you like, subscribe, comment on the video. How would you change or modify this build at all? I was very, very happy and excited once I heard that Ascension is going to be kind of fixed how it should have worked in the first place. So now that this build can actually be fully online and capable of what I believe it was supposed to be when it first came out, it's just going to be a good time, to say the least. Without further ado, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Give me any comments or suggestions and constructive criticism in the comment section down below. Or let me know what build I should do next. Peace and shalom, y'all.